How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel for a bit of a news roundup video. We have had some stuff going on leading up to what is going to be a make or break month or so for Star Wars games. We've had EA directly respond to Battlefront 3 demands, which is the first time they've actually done that, like ever. They normally just ignore everything, so we'll get into that. We've also got some details on what we could potentially be seeing at E3 in less than a week, and I want to dedicate the last section of the video discussing what I think we could see at E3, what Star Wars games we could potentially see there, and so forth. Now guys, before we dive on into it, let me know down in those comments what Star Wars game you're hoping gets announced at E3 or EA Play Live, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more Star Wars gaming content as we start to ramp up to what should be the busiest time of the year for Star Wars games. And lastly, if you'd like to pick yourself up some G Fuel, use the link below and use code Aussie at checkout to get yourself a discount and help the channel in the process. Sorry for all the housekeeping, but I haven't uploaded in like 3 weeks because Star Wars games have just been sitting absolutely stagnant. But anyway, let's get into today's video. So this came as a bit of a surprise to me, but EA have actually gone and directly responded to fans once again clamoring for a Battlefront 3. We all know the narrative. Every able-minded person wants Battlefront 3 to be made, seeing as Battlefront 2's hopes of a revival are long gone. We all know this. You take one look at any post on EA Star Wars accounts, and even if it has nothing to do with anything Battlefront related, the comments are 95% of the time requests for a Battlefront 3. Now, after over a year of bombardment from fans, EA have actually responded to something, albeit a cryptic GIF. It is something, which is more than we can say since Battlefront 2 came to an end, as they've kind of acted like Battlefront doesn't exist since then, which has kind of just annoyed people even more. But EA did drop a teaser for their Battlefield reveal, which done the rounds of the internet, and as expected, the Battlefront 3 comments came piling in. One comment in particular gained a bit of traction, and EA's help page did actually respond to it. Like I said, it's a GIF that kind of implies that they're watching, not anything cold hard concrete confirmation. Now, we've said for a long time that there is no way they don't know the demand that this game has, whether it be the flood of comments from users on Twitter, content creators on YouTube, or even Twitch, including some of the biggest in the industry who have been the most critical about Star Wars games. Like, even they've been demanding that they greenlight Battlefront 3 and get it right from the start this time. And of course, you've got the sheer numbers on the constant Battlefront 2 revivals, with 19 million new players coming to a game that was in its grave just because it went free on the Epic Games Store for a week. So they know the demand this game has, but this is actually the first time that any EA account that's not a disappointed developer or a disappointed community manager has actually acknowledged the demand surrounding Battlefront 3. It might not seem like it to some, but this is progress. This is a tease. That's how ignored this Battlefront 3 demand has been since Battlefront 2 got the axe. And the fact that this is happening just over a month away from EA Play Live, I think that's awfully convenient. Now, am I saying we're going to get a Battlefront 3 announced at EA Play? No, I'm not. It would explode the internet if it happened, absolutely, but I still think we're going to get Fallen Order's sequel reveal. And probably a small scale game like some rubbish mobile game or something that only very, very few people actually care about. That's what I expect. I hope I'm wrong though. I'd love nothing more than to get any kind of confirmation that Battlefront 3 is in like the pre stages of early development. Just knowing it's on their radar is enough for me, and seeing as the bulk of Battlefield's work will be behind them once Battlefield is released, they could absolutely shift some development teams over to work on Battlefront. They managed to balance both franchises, Battlefield and Battlefront, perfectly fine in the past over at DICE, and there's no reason they can't do that again. But now let's shift some focus over to the shorter term here. E3 is taking place on the 12th to the 15th of June. Now normally this is of no concern for us as Star Wars fans, but those days are long gone. The Star Wars license has opened up, and there is every chance we could be seeing some announcements or logo drops for future Star Wars games in the next 2 to 4 years, but the most likely Star Wars game to be at E3 this year will probably be LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Now, we haven't seen anything for this game since like last year. It's been delayed a couple times now, and people are starting to kind of forget about it. So I think we will be seeing LEGO Star Wars make an appearance at the biggest gaming event of the year. Like, what better way than to bring the game back into the eyes of the public? Now, this has been hinted at by various developers, community managers, and insiders that Warner Brothers and TT Games will have somewhat of a presence at E3. Now, some of these hints have been debunked since, some haven't, but it does remain that it is likely that we are going to be seeing something for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga right here. Now, me personally, I'm not counting down the days for LEGO Star Wars, as I've never really been able to get over the fact that it is a LEGO game, which I just have no interest in personally, but if the game does deliver on the scale that it's promising, I think it might actually be able to pull interest from people like me. And I hope that all kicks off in the next week when E3 gets into full swing. Now, we of course can't talk about E3 without addressing the likeliness of Ubisoft's open world Star Wars game being present. Having said that, I believe that would be at Ubisoft Forward, which takes place pretty much the same time as E3 kicks off. I normally don't tune into Ubisoft Forward style events because I've never had to, but I've obviously got a great reason to now, as we all do with this open world Star Wars game. So, I'm not normally very well versed in what this event actually entails, but I know for a fact it is something to keep an eye out for. Now, this game is in its very early stages, so I don't expect to see much for it. But what I do hope for, though, is maybe a team of developers or writers jump onto a panel and discuss what they're going for, or what we could potentially expect. This game was officially announced in January of this year, so some time has passed since then. Hopefully, they've started to get the ball rolling and just have like a slither of information for us, as I'm sure we are all looking forward to what this game could potentially dish up for us. An open world Star Wars game, like, you'd have to be nuts to not be excited for that. And also, it is worth keeping in mind that there has been several quote unquote leaks and rumored Star Wars games in development. Some of them have absolutely nothing to do with EA, so there is of course every chance that one of these games could be making an appearance at E3 as well. So the way I see it, EA Play is the main course for us Star Wars fans, but E3 could be a nice little appetizer. I'd be very surprised if we saw or heard nothing about future Star Wars games between E3 and Ubisoft Forward. If we do see something, I don't think it's going to be much. I think the big reveals will certainly be at EA Play Live in July, but either way, we do have a lot to be looking forward to as Star Wars fans in the next month and a half. It's definitely make or break in the short term for Star Wars games. Like, if the next month and a half sucks, if E3 goes by and then EA Play Live goes by and there is next to nothing, then yeah, I can see Star Wars games going into a bit of a hiatus for another year or two before all the promise and the potential golden era that everyone's been talking about actually starts to become a reality. So, we will be watching things very, very closely. I will potentially be streaming E3 either here on the YouTube channel or on Twitch if it looks like we're going to be getting something, as I'm not affiliated with other publishers that are not EA, so I won't be NDA'd or anything. So I will know about as much as you guys at E3, so it could be a really genuine reaction. So I might savor that and hopefully enjoy a stream with you guys across the event. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Drop a like on the video if you're hyped for E3 and EA Play Live. And let me know in those comments what Star Wars game you want to see the most revealed over the next month and a bit. And remember, if you do want to pick yourself up some G Fuel, use the link below and use code Aussie to get yourself a discount. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. But that is going to do it for me today. Thank you for watching and have a good one.